Resound వస్తుంది. Sophisticated mathematical modeling techniques to embankment dam stress analysis is inhibited by difficulties and occasioned by non-uniformity to fill materials and representation of their non-linear load response. As we know that stress analysis is caused due to the uh, many acting loads and live loads and dead loads. Not only this, it's coming from water pressure and due to wind pressure. Moreover, these modeling techniques, well established in other applications like finite element analysis, not widely employed other than rigorous and specific design studies. And the studies we designed for this stress analysis is let's discuss the application of mathematical modeling to study specific areas for behavior and notable internal cracking and progressive failures in embankments is addressed comprehensively in this described by described by this many authors are Wagon, Downis, and Pottis, and etc. The first also address the influence of core geometry. Example: the vertical or inclined, slender or wide embankment dam behavior are all relevant to more general considerations of hydraulic fracturing and cracking, leading to potentially catastrophic internal erosion. And moreover, we come across internal erosions due to this failure. Not only about its failure, we have seen that erosion caused due to the rapid friction between the soil and water and movement of water when it is high velocity and also due to the flood and example by problems occurred recently commissioned by the dams at the later instance is discussed in wagon. Then hydraulic fracturing. The analysis of internal structures is. Are you guys following me,
Yes, yes,
Venkatesh?
continue. Yes, continue.
Okay. The analysis of internal stresses is generally restricted to an assessment of risk of hydraulic fracturing or of internal cracking. As a result of this interface effects attributed to low transfer force and and one it is in Canada. Hydraulic fracturing with the risk of consequent internal erosion and migration of fines may initiate if total stress are normal to any plane within a soil mass is less than the local pore water pressure. As we know that pore water pressure is nothing but water pressure, making allowance for limited tensile strength. Tensile strength, as we know, many of know that tensile strength is due to it is caused due to the soil erosion and not about not only about soil erosion, it's more caused due to the stress acting force. The condition for fracturing to occur is pore water pressure is greater than tensile strength on an internal plane. And moreover, we discussed in geotechnical engineering BTech aspects. The internal plane it is nothing but friction and angle. Given that fracture initiates in the core fractures critical to integrity are firstly whether the fracture propagates through the core and secondly whether seepage velocities are at an ongoing erosion and fracture self heals and development of erosion process will depend upon whether fracture self heals or ability of material immediately downstream to trap fines migrating from the core. And moreover, we know that this in the downstream of any dam, whether it is gravity dam, whether it is an earthen embankment dam, and it is there is a ground filtered is attached to it. It's nothing but arranging the from high grade to low grade of uh, gravel, sand, and fine aggregates, and moreover filter. This is called filter, and mainly we come across the phreatic line. Phreatic line is also caused due to this filter only. And erodibility of soil is discussed in this authors. A transfer vertical plane can be shown to the critical orientation with the core, and transfer fracturing on such a vertical plane will take place. If neglecting tensile strength, we come across the horizontal stresses. The critical plane is not only transferred due to the stress of and fracturing will develop on lateral orientation. If vertical total stress falls below the pore water pressure, as a result of arcing of compressible core, as a result of low transfer to relatively incompressible, and embankment design engineering. We know that these are made of shoulders, nothing but aprons. Uh, this rockfill aprons and mm, support structures. These and all. Mobilization of core shear strength and cracking is associated with consolidation of clay. Core supported by relatively incompressible granular shoulders. Assuming that full undrained shear strength of core is mobilized in load transfer, it can be shown that the nominal vertical total stress and depth below crest in core of width 2a. Is my screen visible, Venkatesh?
Yes, visible, visible.
And my presentation is good.
Okay, continue. Is
Okay.
is
Is
this
there any doubt
complete?
from this? No, no, I had to continue.
Okay, okay, continue. No doubts.
And vertical stress depth. And we come across this in geotechnical engineer, the stress, horizontal stress, vertical stress, and pore water pressure. Due to this saturation level decrease and may increase. Due to this at rest coefficient and lateral earth pressure. This is a coefficient of lateral earth pressure. It's active earth pressure and passive earth pressure and resting zero lateral strain. And we know that there is a two earth pressure which act on laterally. That is active earth pressure and passive earth pressure. Active earth pressure which lies towards the slope, which is down toward the uh, embankment, or then we construct the retaining wall. And passive earth pressure, its internal friction is tan inverse of uh, something I remember. This passive earth pressure lie towards this and bend towards the opposite side of active earth pressure. Most of many recorded instances hydraulic fracturing have occurred on first impounding or shortly thereafter. The phenomena has been fracturing moderated wide and variety plastic. And these authors have been described this intermediate shear strength is employed. And now onwards we discuss about the shear strength. Shear strength of transferring the failure. If core and shoulder are separated by transition or filter zone, evidence as to influence of core water content and other factors on suspectability. It is nothing but suspects like evidence. Not only evidence, it's about research. Research to fracturing is contradictory. A laboratory simulation of fracturing and study of the influence of certain parameters for specific soil type is presented in the cracking. Cracking, other than hydraulic fracturing, we discussed this shear strength is caused due to uh, shear failure. Shear failure will occur, it is tangentially towards this structure. Maybe it's we take an element part, or moreover we take protocol, we take full object. It's depend upon the tangential directions. Now we discuss about cracking. Cracking, other than hydraulic fracturing, is generally associated with strain incompatibilities. Example, at interfaces potentially dangerous. And transferring the longitudinal cracking modes can develop from number of causes. We know that cracking is not only due to the resonance and resonance of structure, but also due to this many acting shear displacements relative to very steep rock abutments to a badly detailed culverts. This depends upon design of structure and construction of structure and differential strains on local arcing and across irregular foundations. Just we discussed this foundation. These may depend upon the design and constructions. Vertical steps along the axis of deep cut off trench. And moreover, by constructing the abutments and piers, we come across pier foundations. When there is a deep cut off trench, there is a vertical stress will act on this embankment, not embankment, the structure of the hydraulic structure. And progressive slope deformation and distress. This is due to this slope deformation is caused due to this where there is a friction is negligible and strain incompatibility at the zone interfaces within the dam. And it has been suggested that risk of serious internal cracking due to increased significance for earth and embankment. If the ratio will be increased significance of earth embankment and post construction settlements like H card beta. This is design of mm, what you call depth of crack, the depth of crack and height of the embankment, and beta is the slope angle. This is nothing but earth fill embankment is the ratio of maximum post construction settlement to the depth of crack. The risk of such cracking modes arising can be moderated by careful detailed design, avoidance of major irregularities in foundation of excavations, use of wetter and more plastic core materials, and careful joining with wide transition adjacent to the core. Uh, is there any doubts, Venkatesh? Seismic load effects, dynamic loads, and generated by seismic disturbance, and must be considered in the design of all major dams situated in the recognized seismic high risk regions. The possibility of seismic activity should be also be considered for dam located outside these regions. This seismicity and seismic load effects will cause due to this earthquake. And earthquake is depends upon the dynamic loads. It's not about statical loads. So, and it is nothing but impact loads. Impact loads will arise and suddenly we can't estimate and we can't expect when it will come when it will cause the damage. The possibility of seismic activity should also be considered for dams located outside those regions, particularly where sited in the close proximity to potentially active geological fault complexes. The sites for major dams are normally subjected to rigorous seismological appraisal. Seismicity is assessed through a specialist review of regional and local geology in conjunction with historical evidence where a risk of seismic activity is confirmed. And we know that historical evidence and uh, during the medieval period and many ancient times, we don't have design and implementation of this earthquake due to this seismic um, sound like this seismicity. Estimates of probable maximum intensity provide the basis for selecting seismic design parameters. In the case of smaller concrete dams and low risk sites, it is generally sufficient to specify a nominal level of disturbance for design purpose. Seismic activity is associated with complex oscillating patterns of acceleration and ground motions. Seismic activity it's also is oscillating. It's depend upon the earth pressure. Not only earth pressure. This earthquake is defined in three parameters. Which one is uh, core one earth pressure earthquake and core two earthquake. This depend upon zones of earthquakes. And in India is in zone three, I think so. Zone 3 occurs due to this, and it can be estimated because of wave it's transmitted and it recorded in the seismic gauge. Um, Are you guys following me? Harika, Venkatesh?
Yes, continue. Follow.
కంటిన్యూ చేసామా?
Yeah. Sir, I am correct explaining, sir. Am I correct, sir?
ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం,
Okay. The
కంటిన్యూ చేయండి.
seismic activity, sir, because I am grabbing those. It's not an issue, no, sir.
నో
Sir,
ప్రాబ్లం, కంటిన్యూ చేసామా?
okay.
ఓకే.
Seismic activity is associated with complex oscillating patterns of acceleration and ground motions, which generate transient dynamic loads due to the inertia of the dam and retained body of water. Horizontal and vertical acceleration are not equal, the former being of greater intensity. For design purpose, both should be considered cooperative in the sense least favorable to stability of the dam, normal to the axis of dam. Under the reservoir full condition, the most adverse seismic loading will occur when the ground shock is associated with horizontal foundation acceleration and operating upstream and vertical foundation due to operating downstreams. And we to avoid this type of seismic activities and seismic type of loads, we construct the pile foundations. These pile foundations are depth which is more than 30 meters, and moreover it is near to 100 meters. It depends upon the land where the hard structure we come across. Not only its hard structure, it's depends upon the depth of excavating the earth. As a result of inertia effects will generate an additional hydrodynamic water load acting downstreams. Further inertia load attributed to acceleration downwards above will effectively reduce the mass of structure. The more important recurring seismic shock waves have frequency in range 1 to 10 Hz frequency. These seismic loads consequently oscillate very rapidly and transient in their effect. Thank you, sir. So, is there any doubts regarding?